Now, the 2021 Bendigo Winter Carnival looks a little bit different this year with the Cup being moved to October, but a couple of new races, or one reintroduced race, the Bendigo Roses, and in the Prospector, a new race being introduced to the calendar, with both those races worth $15,000 to win on those finals on Friday night. And a key player in one of those finals is one of our local trainers and big supporters of greyhound racing in the area, Ian Garland. Ian joins me now. Thank you, Ian, for coming on.
Yep, pleased to be here, Troy.
Thanks for hosting us here. We're here at Ian's lovely property here at Longley, and the lovely setting out here in the rural environment. Mate, how long have you been here?
15 years.
So greyhounds from day one when you came here?
Yeah.
First, I've got to ask you an interesting question in regards to your activities. Obviously, not just a greyhound trainer, we'll get to that in a minute, but you also got a hairdressing business in town, Ian Garland Hair.
Yeah.
So my question is, how does, from rumour has it, a pretty handy footballer and a bloke who has a passion and a reasonable talent in the boxing ring get into hairdressing?
Well, the truth of it all is that my mum and dad wouldn't let me leave school until I could get an apprenticeship. So the first apprenticeship I could get was a hairdressing apprenticeship, and it all stemmed from there.
How long ago was that?
30 something years ago.
So you had the business 30 years?
25 years, yeah.
You must be going all right. Your name's up in lights on the door. I don't think you clock in too often, do you?
No, I only work Mondays now, so part-time. Good.
No, we shouldn't laugh back, because Ian Garland here are a wonderful supporter of the club at Bendigo and all our events, including Give Me Five for kids and girls and all that, and that's certainly appreciate that. But obviously you've got a pretty good team there as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Speaking of good teams, you've always got a small boutique kennel, I guess, here at Longley in the shed. Tell us a bit about some of the good dogs that have gone through your kennel, I suppose.
Yeah, Billy's Bake was probably my best performed dog. He won a group race in Sydney, and the rest of the ones have just been, I've had a few handy city dogs, but no superstars.
And the bits we're talking about tonight, today's in the Bendigo Roses final on Friday night, Aston Flame. I would suggest to call her quirky is an understatement. Give us a bit of a history into the last 8 or 10 months of Aston Flame and where she's come from to where she is now.
Yeah, she was, a really scared dog, and Grant Fullerton asked me would I, have a go at her, and then Ray Border rang and said, what she'd been through, and I know you had some experience with her yourself. And it just all stemmed from there, so it was a long process to get her to come around my way. Lots of treats, and just, I couldn't get her to eat food out of my hand, and that was the whole thing of winning her over, was to win her to do that. So, yeah.
So it's a good story for patience, isn't it? Because she's obviously well bred and she's a great type, but that temperament, it's pretty rare that temperament gets to the track, let alone start to have a record like she's got. So it's hats off to yourself and Jane for what you've done here. Yeah, I've never experienced a dog that's, she's just terrified of everything. But when it comes to other dogs, when I started walking her out the bush and stuff, she'd be right in the middle of them and she wouldn't care, and she just loved going walking and stuff like that. So I thought I was a chance when she was like that with other dogs, and anyway, it's been a long, slow process, but so race day's probably your favourite environment.
Well, she doesn't like going into the kennels, but once that lure starts, winding up, and she knows that she's going to, get out there and get amongst it, she lights up, her tail starts going, and she's a beauty.
I think it was the first or second start. We had a light delay at Bendigo, and you're out in the stir-up pen. How did she handle that?
Yeah, she was right off.
She's a character, mate. Her win in the heat couldn't have been any more impressive. I mean, 23.65. Not the greatest to begin, but just showed explosive pace, and obviously, as the whole litter's got plenty of ability, but she seems to be just doing better things each time she goes to the track. Yeah,
that's true. She's really improved in that regard, but it's just the beginning. She just doesn't seem to be able to nail the start, but one day she will, and look out. I hope it's Friday night.
No, that'd be good. Not only are you a hairdresser, footballer, fighter, dog trainer, you're also a reasonable form student as well, and we'll have a look at the feature races on Friday night's program. The first of those feature races we'll look at will be the Vic Bred Maiden Series. Firstly, we'll catch up those 4 heats, replays of them right now, and then we'll come back and discuss that final.
Big Go the green, they're set. And they're racing, getting out well on the inside. Aston Shogun showing speed, Kraken Stinger, and Persuasive trying to drive through between runners. Out wide was Claretown Jimmy, and then came Call Me Bo on the round hit. Dundee Cotton from McIver Jack, and last of all was Teddy Logan. Kraken Stinger the leader. Persuasive is out after it. They get clear from Dundee Cotton in the straight. It's Kraken Stinger 3 lengths clear, and Kraken Stinger's too good for Persuasive. Maiden Series second heat. And they're racing, beginning powerfully on the inside was Beretta Girl. It led easy from Belltopper to second, and Palmer River around the outside gets into its work very strongly. Behind them was McIver Rusty, and then Where's Leslie, and a gap to Dundee Velvet. Further back in the field was Call Me Buddy on the turn. Beretta Girl joined on the outside by Palmer River, who goes up, and now McIver Rusty's diving through. McIver Rusty up on the inside, gets up and wins. And racing, even line out of the boxes, showing speed, She Has Style, going across Claretown Buster. Bop's back to last early. Extremely's railing through hard, looks to hold the lead, gets through, and Bop's joined it in second after getting through on the inside. She Has Style third from Claretown Buster, then McIver Jill. Mad Bailey is back in the field with Cosmetic Rose. Extremely's in front, and Extremely will win, beats home Bop. Ready and racing. Big Fonzie began okay out wide's got early speed, driving through Adele's Entity, but Big Fonzie's up on the outside to take the lead. Whiskey Road's following across, and also there was Blackpool Bart as the favourite gets away from Mapunga Legend, who got held up with Dundee Trigger, and then McIver Specs, but Big Fonzie turns for home with a good lead and clears out from Whiskey Road, and here's the favourite for the final next week. Big Fonzie does it easily over Whiskey Road.
So the first of the finals in on Friday night is the actually race 1, the Vic Bred Maiden Series final, $7,500 to the winner. An intriguing race. There's a couple of unlucky runners in the heats, but the favourite no doubt will be Big Fonzie, but whether or not he can back up and sprint well enough, I guess, in a 4:25 with his 500 metre form, but he was impressive, Big Fonzie.
Yeah, he was impressive. He ran 17.70 to the back at the Meadows, and I think if he can repeat that, he'll win the race. I think there's only two chances, Big Fonzie and Kraken Stinger. I think whichever one can get to the first corner first out of those two will win the race. There
wasn't much between those two on the sections. They both came out of the same boxes and both similarly boxed again, I guess, in 6 and 8. But Kayla Cottrell doing a pretty good job for a young kid, obviously well bred in terms of being a ground trainer, but she's certainly hit the ground running.
Yeah, I'll say she's had a great run.
Mate, these Vic Bred Maiden Series has produced some pretty good grounds. I think the last one we ran was last year's Cup Series, and Aussie Secret won that because he was pretty successful in the Pink Diamond Series recently, been a couple of group races. So these races are good form races going through the future as well.
Yeah, going forward, that's where you find all your winners.
The second of our feature races that we're going through a bit more detail is the Bendigo Roses final, which is race 6 on Friday night. And firstly, we'll have a look at the 3 heats that were run last Sunday.
Racing. And Aston Lights began well, so did Tinsley Bale. Aston Lights wants to get off the track, and Tinsley Bale shot away, settling, put a big gap on them. Nitro Nicky goes around the outside, then Ava's Prediction, Sassenach, Clover Kisses, well back Avenger Lass, and back with it Clover Kisses, and Aston Lights doing nothing, but Tinsley Bale turned full of running clear of Nitro Nicky, the rest a mile back, but Tinsley Bale runs them into the ground, wins brilliantly. Racing, Aston Flame, only fair to go, but hit the ground running and is going to go through and lead easily. Settling over Limbaugh, getting up on the rail, and then Cool Lady, Mapunga Grace, Mayland Bale. There's another one in that group, might have been Mapunga Grace, well back Aston Roxy and Tilly Divine. Aston Flame put the foot down, those a mile in front to Limbaugh, Mapunga Grace, and then Diamond Ability, followed by Mayland Bale, then Cool Lady, but Aston Flame runs them into the ground and wins brilliantly. Racing. Mapunga Gertie slow to go and got a check, and Jazz Opera Kraken Candy won the break, joined by Aston Glow going up deep out. Mapunga Gertie going off around the outside of Loretta Bale, Madam Maximus, and they're followed by Birdbrook, Aston Tribute, the tail ender. Jazz Opera held out Kraken Candy going after it strongly now, running on Mapunga Gertie. Jazz Opera and Kraken Candy collide. Mapunga Gertie flying late. Kraken Candy grabbed the lead. Kraken Candy.
Race 6 on Friday night is the Bendigo Roses final, a race that was traditionally run at Bendigo for several years and then fell off the calendar for a while and came back and wasn't overly popular, but the age restriction and the $15,000 the winner saw 3 very good heats there last Sunday and an outstanding final. Firstly, we'll talk about Aston Flame, Ian. No doubt she will be the punter's elect after her form. She's won the 4 out of 5 at Bendigo and went very good last week. How do you see the draw from box number 7?
Oh, it's a tricky draw for sure. Diamond Ability has got really good pace and wants the rail, so Aston Flame's going to have to come out well to win this race. Yeah.
Mate, Tinsley Bale was very impressive. It's run 29.70 at Sandown, so obviously strong as well. Was impressive last week having the first look at the track. Do you think Tinsley Bale can possibly give everyone a cart from the outside into the race?
Yeah, well, it's definitely the one that I'm most worried about to win the race. If it gets a start right and, you know, if Aston Flame and Diamond Ability tangle up a little bit, it could just get the fly and be off and gone.
Mapunga Gertie's got a good record at Bendigo. Has run 23.69 as well. Probably not going as good as she was back then, but I thought her run last week was quite good with the checkered passage.
Yeah, once she got clear, she really let rip, so she's definitely in the race.
And when Jazz Opera showed good pace too, clock 6.49 to the lead, to the first mark, so off box number 1 is probably going to be in the firing line. interest aside, what were your numbers, I guess, in race number 6?
If I had to just have one pick, it'd probably be Tinsley Bale.
Yep.
If I was punting and take my dog out of the equation, I'd be going for that one for value. My dog, it's going to be shorter than what she should be, I think, so I'd be steering clear of a punt there on her. I am worried about Jazz Opera. It did win the Vic Breeders at the Meadows 6 months ago. If she brought her best form, she could be the surprise packet for sure.
And has got plenty of pace and nice in box number 1.
Yeah.
So that's the Bendigo Roses final. The third of the feature races on Friday night is the inaugural Prospector final, a race worth $15,000 to the winner. One of the best races I've seen in a long, long time at Bendigo, apart from the Pink Diamond series, of course. And firstly, we'll recapture those heats that run last Sunday.
Racing. Power Buddy slow to go, and Master Venture flew out straight across to lead Johan Bale, followed by Webleg Raider, and then Substantial, Elliot Ness Road to Cairns. Power Buddy in big trouble. Jintoki Bale, the tail ender. Master Venture got over to lead clearly to Johan Bale, Webleg Raider. It collided with Substantial, and Master Venture turned with a good lead. Johan Bale trying to pick up, but Master Venture going strongly, goes all the way to beat Johan Bale, Substantial, and Jintoki Bale. Racing. Mapunga Reject last to go. Designated began well, so underneath it did Euphoria Bale and off centre. As Designated takes the lead, there's Mapunga Reject trying to get around the outside but got into bother from the Coley Bale, and further back would have been Manila Dusk, and a long way back out of it Target Master. Soda Titan, they turn. Designated Euphoria Bale off centre. Wide out Mapunga Reject, but Designated put the foot down and shot clear. Racing. Favoured Rebellious won the start wide out, shows good pace to go over and lead early. Street Right trying to go with it, followed by Ultimate Avenger, Envy to Burn, Keep It Black. Well back Voldemar Bale, Krakatoan and Xylon Bale, the tail ender. Rebellious leads up to the turn, clear to Street Right, Ultimate Avenger, Envy to Burn and Keep It Black, but Rebellious turn with a full head of steam. Street Right can't go with him, and Rebellious pulls clear to win well over Street Right and Ultimate.
Race number 8 on Friday night at 9:28 is a Prospector final of $15,000 to the winner race. An outstanding race. We've got 7 of the 8 runners here, and I think 9 of the 10 runners all broke 24 seconds in the heats. There was one heat in on Sunday, Rebellious's heat. The last greyhound clocked 24.13. The first 5 over the line broke 24. The depth of this race is enormous, and both races, I guess, and we took a bit of a punt in restricting the age to so young. They're only the 2 years and 2.5 months, 2 years, 3 months. But I think the quality of field that we've got for both races has certainly made the investment worthwhile, and no doubt some of these greyhounds will head towards the maturity as they used to do in the Bendigo Cup. But Rebellious, no doubt, to be the favourite. Couldn't have been more impressive in his entire career, I suppose, and he just keeps seeming to do everything right. He clocked 23.47 last week. Can you see Rebellious getting beat?
Yeah, I can. Yep. I don't like his draw. Johan Bale and Ultimate Avenger both carve hard to the rail, and I think Substantial's got a outstanding draw out of box 8, and I think he's a real value bet in the race. With
another ground that's run 23.59 here at Bendigo, as you said, well drawn in box number 8, Master Venger. He's had 7 starts here for 6 wins. Whether or not he can compete, I guess, with so much competition in run of the first term, but he's a chance as well. And I thought Nikolai Bale's run last week was quite good first look as well after missing the start.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good pace. I thought Street Right's another one that's going to be double figure odds, but he's definitely got claims in the race as well.
I mean, you got Designated clocked 23.79 and at this stage not in the market, but a very interesting race. I think also the second reserve, Keeper Black's an interesting run, has broken the 28 quite comfortably if it happens to get a run in the final, but a very interesting race. So your numbers made on top for the Prospector final?
Would be 8, 4, 3 and 5.
Very good there, going against the Forest, what we like to see too.
Yeah.
But I think Rebellious is an outstanding greyhound. Whatever he does on Friday night, you certainly don't rule him out as he goes through to no doubt stepping up to city racing, as most of these greyhounds will. Apart from the 3 feature races, it's a pretty good program. We've got another couple of very interesting races. You've got Rebel Right and Hilltop Jack taking each other on in Vic Bred Series Heat, which is race number 4. You've got Taken, Braith Bale, More Speed and Hilltop Jonah in race number 7. Race number 9, another Vic Bred Heat's an outstanding race with all in Billy, Daff's Ascend, Shibapunga and Aston Roan in it. Immunity and Curfew go ahead in race number 10. Anthony has a party. I think we spoke earlier off camera about his wonderful draws on Friday night. He should get a nice start of the weekend with Sovereign King in box number 1. And Power of Buddy was unlucky, I think, in the Prospector Heats last week, but he's capable of running ridiculous time in race number 12.
Yeah, so it's a great program.
And you think outside the feature races you'd like to tip our followers into?
I think Aston Gigani in race 2 might be really hard to beat. I've got one in the race, but I think, you know, Aston Jagan is probably next level above these, you know, ability-wise, if he gets things right. So I'm tipping Anthony as a party to have a big night.
Yeah, I think Anthony will for sure, as he often does. Mate, thanks very much for joining us on the program. Good luck with Aston Flame and all of your other greyhounds as you move forward over the next few months as well. And we thank everyone for tuning in, and hopefully you tune in on Friday night for what should be a great night's racing at Bendigo. And to sign off, we have a look at last Friday night's Winter Cup final, taken out by Mapunga Ruby, I think one of the most promising stayers in the state, and pocketed $10,000 in doing so.
Green light, they're set. Racing. Mapunga Ruby stepped well from the pole. On the inside, bounce back rather shooting through from Mapunga Ruby and trying to go through around the outside. Drumbowl pleased with good pace. Further out in the track was All in Dungy, and then Shadow Mist, and further back to Up the Amount from Mapunga Holly and Polly Johanna down the back and taking over Bounce Back. Leads a length and a half. Mapunga Ruby's right behind it, stalking it. Then came All in Dungy and Drumroll Please. Further back to Shadow Mist. Trying to work through was Up the Amount, running on well. And the gap to Mapunga Holly, turning Mapunga Ruby up on the outside of Bounce Back and charges away. Oh, that's a win and a half. Mapunga Ruby exploded home to win and did it easily in the end over Bounce Back. Close for third. A photo between Drumroll Please and Up the Amount, not much in that. And then Mapunga Holly, All in Dungy, Polly Johanna on the inside, Shadow Mist, and the time is 37.808.